Cafe Matou, I've always wanted to open up a place that was French cuisine, very traditional in terms of the type of recipes and just the whole approach of a more traditional French restaurant where everybody's having a great time. You can tell they're enjoying the food, but it's like you're sitting across from each other, enjoying the table, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you know, hey, how is that? Oh, it's great, but then go back to your conversation. Some people will call us a bistro, but we're, in terms of the sauces and the combinations that we're making, it's a bit more sophisticated than that. Every one of the things that I serve here are things that I like to eat. I don't try to do something new just because I think it will be novel and people will ooh and ah. It's something that I know I like to eat. I try to design the daily menus because our menu changes daily. I try to make sure that there's a full range, at the very minimum, at least one dish that every diner is going to say, oh, I've got to try that.
So, Dr. Black, you say that Cafe Matou is quality through and through. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, one of the things, even though you say I've been in a lot of four-star restaurants, one of the things I always like is simple, good food. It reminds me of home. I mean, when I was growing up, everything happened in the kitchen, and you always wanted good, simple food. You go to Cafe Matou, it has a French style to it, but it's a little twist on everything. But the food is just basic, good food. It's like the place you would love to have in your neighborhood where you can just go, you walk out, you don't feel like cooking, you walk out, it's not going to break you or anything like that, because the food is reasonably priced, and it's very good.
It was good. I thought the price was great. It wasn't what I expected because I went knowing it was a French restaurant. I had never been there before. And I ended up, I went with a prefix menu, which you got a pate, and then normally I think there was a pork entree that was served with curry that sounded great, and then bread pudding for dessert. And unfortunately they were out of the pork, so that evening they had a pan-roasted chicken. And everything was delicious, but I felt you can get these items. You can get a pate, you can get pan-roasted chicken, you can get bread pudding pretty much anywhere. And if I'm going to make the effort to go to a French restaurant, if I have a craving for French food, I want to have unique French food.
I think that one of the things that Americans do is say, oh, French, oh, it's going to be very elegant.
Right.
No, common French food is very, very simple food. And I think we're sort of taught that it's very elegant food, but if you go to France and you're sitting there and you go to the little tiny place, it's just very elegant, little, simple food.
Well, it's interesting because I work at Everest, which is, classic French, very elegant, touch all the little, elements of a fine dining French cuisine. I can definitely understand the difference between the bistro type of French and the upscale sort of French, and there is a difference here.
Although I would have to say that this place, I liked it. I liked the room a lot. I thought that it was just really comfortable, and everyone was very friendly. But I thought that they were trying to achieve more than just sort of good, basic country bistro food. We had a swordfish with an octopus that I thought the swordfish was prepared beautifully. But we started off, unfortunately, with some funky mussels that were just, they like lifted.
Oh, no. Nothing worse than funky
mussels. I'm talking about funky mussels.
Now, were they dancing funky? Or
they weren't dancing, although they could have been actually doing a very stinky dance. They took the top off the mussels, and it smelled funky. It smelled funky, and then they taste funky. And so I never send anything back, and we sent these back, and I don't know whether it was the manager or someone came over, and got a little defensive.
Well, that could be off-putting. I think mussels, you can have funky mussels. But I think that the times I've been there, I just had such wonderful meals, and it's been so wonderful for me that I can see that. But I agree with you. If he said that, that's not the appropriate thing to do. If you said it's funky, it's funky.
If a restaurant is not so expensive, and it is more, less price, for example, for you, the $20 prefix menu,
yeah, it was great.
You excuse a lot more. Because it's not that expensive.
Well, no. I don't think you should ever have to excuse anything. I think you go to a certain restaurant because you like the service, you like the food. I don't think you should be willing to compromise one for another.
I agree. You never compromise on the experience. I don't care what it costs. If it costs $2 or $200.
Now, Rick, did you enjoy some desserts?
We did. We tried a couple of things. We tried the bread pudding, which I thought was really tasty. Chocolate.
Kelly was ready
I'm
to
telling you, I
Chocolate.
wanted a cigarette after that bread.
Chocolate banana bread pudding, right?
With a
Wasn't
little
it?
caramel sauce on the
Yeah,
side.
very tasty.
Delicious.
He also does a tart tatin that just knocks my socks off. But his best is his phyllo with raspberries and all kinds of wonderful flavors that just makes me want to stop and not talk for a minute or two because it's so good. It's like I need a moment. Just don't talk to me. Just let me enjoy this right now.
Well, Dr. Black, Cafe Matou is your selection. Give us your summary.
Have wonderful food. You don't have to break the bank because it's really reasonably priced. And even the wine, Virgil, who does the wine, has a really good idea about finding wines that are not very expensive that can complement the food very well. I love it to death.
Kelly?
Well worth the money. But I think I'd try something a little more French. Like I said, the entree I got, I think you could get pretty much anywhere. I'd get the bread pudding again, that's for sure.
I think we all know that. And Rick, for you?
If I were in that neighborhood, I would try it, give it another try, because I think our experience was a little iffy. But overall, it was sort of an okay dining experience.
Well, you can visit Cafe Matou at 1846 North Milwaukee Avenue, 773-384-8911. They're open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab without drinks is about $38 per person.